So, what Java Keytool actually is? It's a program installed usually with Java for management and storing of security keys and certificates. And where exactly Keytool stores all of those things? In KeyStore. And what KeyStore actually is? It's a database for all keys and certificates. It's encrypted and password protected. And there is one more term that we have to define, and that is trust store. So what trust store actually is? It's key store that stores all of certificate authority certificates, usually on level of operating system. And now we have different types of key store. First, we are going to talk about JKS or Java Key Store. It's default type, not too safe by modern standard, and stores only private keys and certificates. Then we have JCEKS or Java Cryptography extension. It's much better than JKS in sense of security, but still not secure enough. Stores secret private keys and certificates. And it uses password-based encryption to produce encryption keys. And then we can talk about PKCS 11 that is recommended for production environment. And keys are not stored in files but on USB tokens, smart cards and hardware security modules. Then PKCS 12. It's more secure than JKS and JCEKS, and it can be used with non-Java applications. Then we have two rarely used, Windows root that is used for a root certificate store access, and Windows My that is used for store access on Windows. And finally we are going to mention Bouncy Castle, that is most popular third-party provider, that we are going to talk a lot about on this channel. Hey guys, if you have some certificate that you want to include in your Java project, first you need to create Java Key Store. And in order to create Java Key Store and to include that certificate in it, you need only one command. So type Keytool, then command Key Store, then name your key store like my key store, then command import, then command file, then path to your certificate. It's in local directory CACRT, and alias, let's set it to CA. Then provide password with at least 6 characters. Once again. And if display data is fine, type yes and click enter. And finally you have key store that you can use in your Java projects. So in order to convert JKS into some other Keytool supported format, type Keytool, import key store, src key store, provide path to your key store, my key store JKS, then dest key store, path where you want to store your new key store, my key store PKCS 12, and dest store type PKCS 12 or some other Keytool supported format. Click enter, provide password. Now source key store password. And now we have PKCS 12 key store. If you want to convert JKS into BKS, first you have to go to Bouncy Castle latest releases. Scroll down and download one in regards of JDK that you are using. And I already have it in my local folder. Then open your terminal and type Keytool, command import key store, command src key store, and provide path to your JKS. Now dest key store and provide path where you want to store your BKS. Then src store type JKS, then destination store type BKS, then src store pass and provide password, then dest pass and new password, and last two commands are provider and path to Bouncy Castle provider we just downloaded, and press enter. We have our BKS. In order to create secret key using Java Keytool, type Keytool gensec key alias, put your alias text like key, then key algorithm AES, then key size 256, then key store, and provide path to your key store. And I'm going to use extension JCE and store type JCEKS, because with JKS we cannot store secret keys. And press enter. Provide password, Once again, if you want to use same password for your key, just press enter. And finally, we have our key store. If you want to create RSA key pair using Java Keytool, type Keytool gen key pair, key size 2048, key algorithm RSA, alias, then provide your alias text, key pair. Now, key store, path to your key store. By the way, JKS is not considered too safe, so you are encouraged to try another type. And then press enter. Provide your password. Once again. Now provide some data about your organization or about yourself. Now if you want to use the same password both for your key pair and key store, just press enter. Now I'm going to list content of my directory. As you see, we have our key pair, and now I'm going to list content of this key store. And as you can see, we have our key pair listed. So if you need to create self-signed certificate using Java Keytool, first thing that you need is certificate authority certificate and certificate authority private key that you can create using OpenSSL. And in next step, we are going to use Keytool in order to create our key store and key. Provide your key store password. Now provide some information about yourself or about your organization. Now when I have my key, I'm going to create certificate request. Password, of course. And in next step, we are going to use certificate authority certificate and certificate authority private key in order to sign this request. But first I'm going to clear my screen. So we have everything, and in final step we are just going to include this Java certificate and certificate authority certificate in mykeystore.pkcs12. Say that you can trust this certificate. And now Java certificate. And finally I'm going to list my key store. So finally we have everything. As you know, every key store has a password and you have to know it in order to run your commands. If I want to list my key store, I'm going to use command Keytool, list, key store, path to my key store, and I'm going to use command store pass in order to provide my password. And I'm going to press enter. And now if you want to change this password, type once again Keytool, store, pass, wd, new, provide new password. Then command key store and provide path to your key store. Now you will have to provide previous password. And done. Now if I want to list this content, I will have to provide a new password. As you know, with Keytool you have to provide your password with all of your commands. But there are multiple ways to do so. For example, type Keytool, list, key store. I'm going to list key store from our previous episode. We have to provide store type. And I'm going to press enter. And of course I have to provide my password in this way. But now, there is another way to do the same. I'm going to use the same command, but I'm going to add one more element, store pass, and I'm going to provide password as argument. This works too. And final way is to create file that is going to contain my password. With echo, I'm going to store password in pass.txt. I'm going to clear my screen, and now I'm going to use this file in order to provide password. Now change this final element into store pass column file and provide path to your file, pass.txt. Now if I press enter, it works all the same. If you want to explore your certificate but you are not satisfied with the way your operating system does that, like in this case, you can use Keytool for that purpose. So type Keytool command print cert command file and provide path to your certificate. Hey guys, if you have Java key store and key pair in it, and if you want to export your public key outside of this key store using Java Keytool, type Keytool, export, alias, then type alias of your key pair. In my case it's key pair, command key store, path to your key store, then command rfc, command file, and path where you want to store your public key. Optional command store pass and password of your key store. Press enter. So we got our public PAM. If you click on it, check it, here is your public key. So what if you want to export your private key out of your Java key store? First, let's list content of our key store. Use Keytool, command list, command key store, provide path to your key store. Mine is new pkcs12 and provide store type and press enter. Provide password. As you see in here I have one entry that is RSA key pair. And in order to export private key, store type must be pkcs12. So if you are using some other type, first convert it to pkcs12. And then type OpenSSL pkcs12 in, path to your key store, out, and path where you want to store your private key. Provide password. And we are getting these errors because our key is encrypted. Hey guys, today I'm going to teach you how to remove element from your Java key store. And first I'm going to list content of my new key store. So type Keytool, list, key store, path to your key store, store type if you are not using JKS, and press enter. Provide password. As you see, in here I have one key pair that I want to remove, and in order to do so, type Keytool, delete, alias, and provide alias of element that you want to remove. Now, key store and provide path to your key store. Press enter, provide password, and now I'm going to list my key store once again. As you see, I have 0 elements now. In order to list content of Java key store, use command Keytool, command list, command key store, then provide path to your key store. In my case that is my key store JKS, and press enter, and now provide your password. And as you can see, my key store contains only one certificate with alias of CA. Hey guys, if you want to see the list of all security providers supported by Java on your system, first navigate to place where your Java is installed. In my case that is userlib.jvm. If I list this, you see that I have multiple OpenJDK implementations, and I'm going to use OpenJDK 17. Go to conf, security, and in here we are going to open Java security. This is main security configuration file. Scroll down, and here is the list of all supported providers. You know very well that if you want to create key store using Keytool, you would have to provide some of your personal information or information about your organization, like in this case. And now if I press enter, you see that now I have to provide my personal information. But there is another way to do this. Now I'm going to use this very same command, but in this case I'm going to provide my personal information as argument by using command dname, and everything that is going to be provided within these quotation marks. So with cm provide common name, split element with comma, with ou provide organization unit, with o organization, with l town, with st state, and with c country, and press enter. Now I'm going to list my key store. As you see, there is everything in there. Hey guys, let's talk about Keytool extensions. So what extensions are? Basically additional information that we can provide to our certificates using Java Keytool. And we can do that by using command ext. Inform ext bc equals, and then parameters are going to be provided wrapped with quotation marks. So let's talk about this first extension. BC stands for basic constraints, and with it we can provide two parameters, CA and pathland. Basically CA means whether our certificate is a certificate of certificate authority or not. So value could be true or false. And if this certificate is not certificate of certificate authority, pathland is always going to be 0. But if this is certificate of certificate authority, pathland is going to be number. of intermediate certificate authorities that this certificate allows. So in case when we are going to have one intermediate certificate authority in pathline of certificate of root certificate authority, number one is going to be provide. Then we have key usage. And we can use our keys for all purposes in this list. And you could provide these elements in full text, like in cipher only or data encipherment. Or you could use short form, like small d capital S for digital signature, or small k capital E for key encipherment. Now we are going to say a few words about criticality. If you don't say explicitly what kind of criticality you want, by default criticality false is going to be set. And if you want to set criticality to true, you are going to provide it in this form, like ext key usage column C. This C means that we are going to set criticality to true. Next usage, it's extended key usage. And we have like server authentication, client authentication, code signing, and so on. Command for it, it's ext eku, and with column C we are setting criticality to true. And in this case too, we can provide elements in short form, like small s capital A for server authentication and small c capital A for client authentication. Then we have subject alternative name and issuer alternative name. And command names are respectively SAN and IAN. You can of course provide list with multiple elements split by comma. And the elements must be of these forms, so IP, DNS, email or URI. So first you are going to provide form, column and then text value. So in first case our value is going to be resolved with DNS, and that is address keyst.com. In second case we are using IP address, like 192.168.0.24. And at the end we have subject info access and authority info access. Commands are respectively SIA and AIA. In here we can provide methods, and methods are timestamping or a CA repository. Then column and then type of value like IP, DNS, email or URI. Then column once again and value. Hey guys, in my previous episode we have been explaining certificate extensions using Java Keytool. And in this episode I'm going to show you how that looks in practical example. So I'm going to type command. So with this command we are going to create RSA key pair with key size of 4096. We are going to create a key store in my local directory my key store. Store type is going to be JCEKS, store path 60 and common name Kind Spirit Technology. And now I'm going to provide first extension. With this command we are providing timestamping address. Now with basic constraints, we are saying that this is not certificate of certificate authority, and of course pathline is going to be 0. Now we are setting key usage with criticality set to true. With this command we are setting extended key usage with criticality also set to true, with values of server authentication and client authentication. With this command we are setting two server alternative names. And with this final command we are setting issuer alternative name. I'm going to press enter now. And finally we are going to list this key store. Press enter and let's see what we have. Basic constraints, extended key usage, issue alternative names. It looks that everything is in proper place. Hey guys, welcome to another episode about Java security. So as you know, different security providers can provide you with a different approach to security. And Java allows you to select among multiple security providers. And not only that, if you don't have security provider that you need on your machine already installed, you can install it later. And there are actually two ways to add new security provider to your Java. Static and dynamic way. And in this episode we are going to cover static way. So first thing that I'm going to show you, I've created this small Java application using Eclipse. So this is nothing special. I'm just taking list of all of security providers supported by my machine, and then I'm just printing that list to console output. So I'm going to execute this in here, and as you see, this is list of all my supported security providers. And for the sake of simplicity, I've already exported executable Java file, so we don't need Eclipse anymore. let me show you. I've created this psp.jar, printer of security providers. And now I'm going to execute it with Java jar psp.jar, and as you see in here I have a list of all of my security providers printed. So for this episode I'm going to use Bouncy Castle security provider as example. So how to get Bouncy Castle to this list? First thing that we have to do is to open your browser and navigate to Bouncy Castle website. This is their homepage. Find the link where it says latest releases and download these two files according to Java version that you are using. And I already have that done, so I don't need my Firefox anymore. In here I have that two files. So what is our next step? First I'm going to navigate to place where my Java is installed. So I'm going to click on user, lib. I need JVM. All right. I'm using Java 8 OpenJDK as my default Java version. Again, JRE, go to lib, and in here we have to deal with two folders, with security and with ext. First, go to security, and I'm going to open this in terminal, and I'm going to type sudo nano java security, scroll down. In here you're going to find a list of all of your security providers, and we have to add one more element to this list. So type security provider, 10th in line. Now type address org dot be very careful not to make any mistake, otherwise this is not going to work. So jce dot provider dot bouncy castle provider. Write this to this file. We can exit now, and I don't need this terminal window anymore. Next step is to go one directory up and go to extension. So now we have to add these two files into this directory. So I'm just going to copy location for the simplicity's sake, and for that I have to use command sudo copy. Yes, I want to copy this file, and I'm going to paste location of my destination directory, and I'm going to name this file. All right. Okay, we have first file. I'm going to copy this command. So another file just don't have this ext part. All right. Let me see, we have both files now. And I'm going to open terminal in this location once again in order to change mode for these two files. I'm going to change mode to 644 to all files that starts with BC. All right. And finally, we are going to test this. I'm going to call my Java jar once again, psp.jar, and let's see what we are going to get. All right. We have Bouncy Castle provider on this list. So guys, that's all for this episode, and in next episode I'm going to teach you how to use dynamic way to include third-party security provider in your Java. So please like, subscribe, and see you in next episode. Hey guys, if you remember our previous episode, we have created this small Java application in order to list security providers installed on our system. And now I'm just going to execute this application. And here is the list of all supported security providers for my system. So first question is how to execute some Keytool command. And by the way, explicitly to say which security provider we want to use. So follow me and type. So basically with this command we are creating RSA key pair that is going to be stored in my key store with store type of PKCS12 with password of 6 zeros and with common name of KST. But now in order to explicitly select some of security providers from our list, we are going to provide another command. Provider name and provide name of some security provider that you want to work with. But keep in mind that not every security provider is built for any purpose. So for creating RSA keys, I'm going to use SunJSSE. If I press enter, I'm going to get my key store. And now, what if you want to use some security provider that is not on our list? For that purpose, first you have to download jar of security provider that you want to use. Like in this case, I have a Bouncy Castle security provider jar that I'm going to use to create my second key store. So now type Keytool gen key pair, almost everything like in previous case, just I'm going to create key store with another name like my key store 1. And I'm going to remove this provider name. So first thing that we have to provide now, it's provider path. And I'm going to navigate where I have stored my Bouncy Castle jar. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste it in here. And I have to say that this jar is in upper folder. All right. And we have to provide one more command for this case, that is provider. Here we have to type org dot bouncy castle JSE provider dot bouncy castle provider. So once again, if you have security provider that you want to work with in list of your security providers, you are going to use provider name command in order to provide the name of security provider that you want to work with. But in case when your security provider is not on the list, you have to provide path to your provider jar and you have to add command provider where you are going to add this key sensitive string. And don't worry, you are going to find this string on a website of security provider that you want to use. And I just realized that I have mistake in here. It's JCE. And in here bound. Okay, I'm going to press enter now. And voila, we have another key store. So guys, that's all for this episode. I hope that you like this content, so please like, subscribe, and see ya.